guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 14, episode 11. I'm gonna let y'all know now if my energy is down, it's because I'm annoyed and I'm frustrated and I'm very perturbed right now because I was extremely productive yesterday when I didn't have to be, okay? Okay, could just laid on the couch and went to sleep. But I chose to be productive and I filmed reviews for this video, for Married to Medicine, and I did a the drama video. I did one of those, and unfortunately the mic was on but the volume was all the way turned down and I didn't notice it. So by the time I went to edit my videos, all the videos, there was no audio damn near. Like, you could hear me, but it was way too low that even when I tried to like turn the volume all the way up on the editing equipment to like render the video and stuff, it wouldn't have made a difference. So now I'm here early in the morning filming these 3 videos plus a few more videos, and I'm just annoyed because that's not what I wanted to do this morning, okay? I did not want to do this. But let's get into this review because y'all probably don't care. All right. So y'all know sometimes I come to you with the drama or things that I found on my timeline that are spicy. I need to find a name for this segment because by now most of the people that watch my videos probably are like, girl, we get it. Just get on to what we want to talk about. So I'm trying to find a name for it. I don't want like something generic because I know that there's like a lot of people who do these and I want something catchy that also represents me. So I got a few names in my Rolodex, I guess. But let's talk about the continuation of the Sheree saga. So if you don't know, Sheree and Martell Holt were seen out and they somewhat confirmed that they were together, but there's been like conflicting reports because now all of a sudden, I know Funky Dineva was on his show with Claudia Jordan and Al Reynolds, and he dropped tea saying that supposedly Martell said Sheree wasn't even his type or something to that effect. But we now have Kandi coming out doing an interview where someone asked her like, how do you feel about Sheree and Martell being together? And she dropped tea that Martell tried to do the same thing with a cousin of hers. So I'm gonna play the audio and then we're gonna come back and talk about it.
Dating Martell Holt.
I don't want her to be in a situation where it feels like, where she's being used for publicity. Earlier this year, and I gotta be honest, a family friend of mine who was on another reality show hit me up to go out on a date with him at Blaze and was like, oh, could you have another table open for us because we're going to have somebody taking our pictures and videos so that they can post it and da-da-da-da, like this was something they had. And I was like, okay. But no blog really posted, only like one place posted it. But my whole point was, now that I see this similar situation, I'm like, is she doing this? Or like,
so you heard the audio. Here's my thing. I'm annoyed because I feel like I've been bamboozled and led astray by 2 ditzy Doras, aka Sheree and Martell, because it does kind of seem that this relationship came out the blue and now all of a sudden y'all are like supposedly like not dating, but he's supposed to be helping you with your businesses, Sheree, but he can't help himself, but he's gonna help you. And it's like a friendly friend put y'all together. And the same story was made with Kandi and her alleged like her cousin or whatever. So I just think that like we all got sucked in, gave them a few minutes of shine. And I don't think we're going to hear this anymore. Maybe Andy will ask about it at the review, but it seems like Martell has moved on to greener pastures. And at this point, Sheree being 52 and this stupid, it don't work for me. But let's get into the review. All right, so the episode opens up and we are at Ace's 6th birthday. It was a cute idea. Ace's birthday is in the middle of the week. So they just invited like little cousins and probably like the neighborhood kids to Candy's guest home. We see that Drew and Kenya were invited and they showed up with their kids. I thought it was kind of weird that Sonya wasn't there because Deuce is around the same age as it seems that Blaze is and a few of the other little kids that were there. But you know, they're trying to do this whole team fraction where it's Drew, Candy, and Kenya on one side, and then Sheree, Marlo, and Sonya on another. But who cares? It was a cute. The only thing that like made me pause and gave me cringe is when he blew out the candle on his cake. In my family, we don't do that. We do not do that. Like, there's two ways we blow out candles on cakes. It's either we, like my parents or my aunts or my uncles or even my cousins with their kids will take the candle and you blow it out yourself, but away from the cake, because it's always like you're blowing spit and hot air on people's food, and that's not what we doing. Or they'll already have cut the cake, and then like you'll have like the biggest piece there, and then you blow out the cake, blow out your candle on your big piece of cake while everybody else has their piece of cake and waits for you to do it. And that signifies like, oh, everybody can eat their cake and we sing happy birthday. You know what I mean? So it was cute. He's into video games. So they not now, but they rented one of those VR like video game trailers, which I thought was like a sweet idea. And I like how Candy says she wants to do it up every time it's their birthdays, which is great. Like, I don't remember too many young birthdays. I remember like specific birthdays where we did something big for me. And when I was a kid, one of the birthdays I do remember when I was around Ace's age is like where my mom and my dad what's it called? They laid down a tarp for all of my friends and my cousins that were invited, and they got like this huge cake with my face, you know, back in the day when you used to put your face on cakes, and they just let us have at it. Like, we wore like my mom told everyone like wear clothes you don't mind them getting dirty, and we just dug in and was like eating cake together. Like, that's one of the most memorable birthdays I remember. I don't know what age I was at. I know I was probably like around the same age as Ace was, like probably like between like 5 and 7, but I remember that. So I think it's sweet that it wants to go with that idea. They didn't get on the topic of like feeling safe in their homes and feeling safe in the certain counties that they picked to live. Drew says she picked the area that her and Ralph live because I guess it's a gated community and the crime rate isn't that high. Kenya talked about how like Cardi B lives down the street from her and has like a 24-hour guard. And they mainly got on this conversation because of the whole creepy dude that was like seemed to probably have like a mental illness, trying to say that he was like Beyonce's cousin or T.I.'s cousin, and he had a meeting with Candy, and you know he jumped the fence, and Todd was telling them that the guy that the police were like patrolling the area a lot more just in case that would happen again. And they were trying to encourage Candy to get like a 24-hour guard. And I was with Candy when she was like, who gonna pay for that? Because that costs money for someone to be at your house or live at your house constantly as your bodyguard or as security. That's a lot. They then talk about how where Candy lives, she's so close to the airport and she could go back and forth to New York with Broadway. So Candy had to update everybody about how Thoughts of a Colored Man got canceled because the new Omarion variant was out there and it's still out there running havoc on the streets along the lines with the pox now. Good Lord. And so, she got emotional, and I'm not even gonna lie. Oftentimes when Candy cries, it doesn't move me because it's normally with Mama Joyce or she's done something where she's allowed people to disrespect people, like other people, and they get mad at her and Candy starts crying, or when she gets frustrated she starts crying. So it's like it never really does anything for me, but in this moment I felt for her. She started crying because she was disappointed that the play got canceled, and she was talking about how like she just wanted to like level the playing field on Broadway, giving black like actors or you know African Americans a leg up, or even like she said, even the playing field, because if you don't know, Broadway is like historically white. There's like a saying I remember because I do have friends who are like in theater or who are really into like musicals and Broadway and like and all of that stuff. There's like a saying they always said that's like catchy that they were like symbolizes what Broadway is. Like there are plays that have full black cast, but it's like you're typecasted. Like you will never see like a black person being in a leading role unless it has to do specifically like with race in a sense. Like when I talk about that, I'm thinking about like The Color Purple, Raisin in the Sun, and things like that. It's never really just like a regular like love story musical play unless it's like heavily predicated on someone's race being like a contingency or like the adversary in the play. So I said contingency, like a contingency plan. That's not the word I wanted to use. My bad, y'all. But y'all, I think y'all get it. Like it's an obstacle. And she started crying because she felt like she had failed. And I felt bad because I've been there where you work really hard for something and you want it to work and you feel like, you know, you finally got there and then it's like obstacles coming your way and it's like you have to shut it down. And that hurts because you put so much work in and then you feel like, damn, I did all of this and it still didn't work. I also think that like Candy might be having like PTSD just a little bit because when she did that play that like that had the legs, hips, and body, do. Um, it got canceled or like they shut it down and there was a lot of negative press around it where people were saying they didn't get paid and it reflected very negatively upon Candy. And I think that bothers her to this day because people still bring it up like as a slick dig to her. So I think she was just kind of like, damn, like I got here and it happened again. Even though the way that first play that her and Todd were working on had to dissolve isn't the same way this did. At least with this one, unfortunately, Candy said a few people on the cast got sick with the Omarion and they had to shut down. There was nothing y'all really did wrong. People just got sick and you can't control that. As well as like you had a lot of positive press for the show. And I bet you had the show still continued, you would have had a lot of fans from who watched the Real Housewives or who heard it from their friends go watch the movie go to Broadway to watch the play because of how great it was. So it was just sad to see her cry because I was just like, girl, I look, I know the struggles. You'd be so angry and frustrated. We then see while they're at Ace's party, we see Sonya, Sheree, and Marlo at La Archive. And they're all talking about getting ready to go to Jamaica. We see that Sonya was trying to explain to them that like this is a couples trip, but like you don't have to bring like a man. You can bring like a +1 or a friend. But she felt like the New York trip wasn't really balanced, so she wanted to give the people who were single the opportunity. So she's like, let me call Kenya. So Sonya goes to call Kenya, and she was like, I just wanted to make it clear that this is a couples trip. And you could tell Kenya got really annoyed with it. And Sonya was like, I just wanted to be clear. And then she was about to reiterate it again. And she clicked like Kenya hung up on her. And Sonya was like, girl. And then you even saw Sheree be like they were shocked that Kenya hung up on her. From Candy and Drew's perspective, they're like, why is Sonya harping on the fact that it's a couples trip when they know Kenya doesn't have anybody? So to me, I felt like it was a miscommunication. Like everyone online is like, Sonya about to get ate up by Kenya at the reunion. But I really didn't think Sonya was trying to do nothing like shady. I mean, it might have been like fun, light shade, but I didn't really think that she was trying to like play her in front of the group. I think she just wanted to make sure the lady knew that it was a couples trip and everybody could bring a +1, a friend or whatever. But I think Kenya is on guard because she knew that she was with Marlo, and more specifically Marlo, and she just wasn't wanting to entertain the bull, and she just felt like Sonya was trying to mess with her, so she hung up. I think Kenya did too much. I understand why she did it, but I didn't think Sonya was coming from a negative place, in my opinion. I mean, you can't tell me otherwise. I just didn't think she was trying to be funny or shady in that way. But I get why Kenyon got frustrated because it's like, girl, you know I'm going through a divorce. You know I'm not really dating anyone like that. So why are you trying to harp on me bringing somebody? Like, are you trying to be funny? So I understand both sides, but I really didn't think the lady was trying to be that shady towards her. But Sonya was like, yeah, we're gonna have a talk about that because that was out of pocket. So then we have this sit down with Candy, Todd, Kayla, and Riley. Riley is back from school, and I guess Kayla is in town. And they're talking about their trusts, like their trusses. So Todd and Candy are going to have like separate trusses, and then they're going to have one trust in the middle for their joint properties. It was shady how the producers showed what all Candy brought to the table or had before she got with Todd. So she had her her song publishing, Candy Coated Factory, Bedroom Candy, her house, her guest house, Mama Joyce's house, and Tag's Boutique, which I don't even remember her having Tag's Boutique. And then all Todd had was his New Jersey condo. And together they have like restaurants and other real estate properties. So they're having a conversation about like what would it be like if one of them were to pass. And Riley and Kayla were pretty much honest with Todd, where they were just like, you wouldn't take care of me the same. Riley was like, you wouldn't take care of me the same way my mom takes care of me, which is true. Normally I stick up for Todd because I feel like everybody be coming at Todd. I do. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It's like you got Mama Joyce talking trash about him. You got us talking trash about him. And then, like, it's like nobody really defends him. And I always think, like, if I was in that situation, like, I would be tired of being around that family. But in this moment, I definitely got where everybody was coming from, especially the daughters, where it's like Todd wants them to learn these massive lessons and struggle. And I get it. You want them to be able to take care of themselves if in the fact, like Candy said, knock on wood, God forbid, like one of y'all were not to be here or one person wasn't, like, or both of y'all lost your lives. You want them to be able to be self-sufficient. So I totally understand that. But I think the issue, especially in the Black community, is like, oftentimes we talk about generational wealth and how we don't want our kids to struggle. We want our kids to have a leg up. But then when we do come into money, it's like we put all these stipulations and all these like restraints and restrictions on that said money, that what was the point of you creating generational wealth if you're not trying to make your life easy, like your children's lives easier? Like, Todd be treating Kayla crazy in a sense where it's like he doesn't want to give Kayla like free access to money, but I'm just like, she's proven herself at this point. Kayla's 25. She pays her own bills. She has a job, and I guess Candy says like working into entertainment industry, probably like the background like her dad does, and she's doing great for herself. At this point, y'all should be rewarding her that she not no bum or sitting at home being lackadaisical. Like, she's really out there doing herself, doing good for herself. So she should be awarded. If she call you for some money, give the girl some money because you got the money. Like, that's the thing that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. And the thing for Riley is like, Candy has always given Riley what she wanted. She probably has taught Riley, like, you can't have everything you want, but certain things I will give to you. That apartment that Riley lives in is a beautiful apartment to be living in at the age of 19. Especially in New York, where we know it costs an arm and a leg, a kidney, and damn near a lung to live in New York. And that's just to live in like in a box in New York. So it's just like she had like so when Riley was like, I don't think you would take care of me the same way my mom would. And it pissed Todd off because I don't think Todd understood that it was like, bro, we know you would take care of her. Like, we know you would love her, be there for Riley, but you would not give her the monetary love the way Candy would do it. Now, one thing I did agree with Todd was like not giving the kids a lump sum of money at one time. Like, I did agree with giving them money like at increments, because we've seen what happens when people, whether they be wealthy or like poor or middle class, come into some money and you just think the money's going to always be there, and you're just like shelling it out at every time, and you end up waking up like 3 or 4 years from now and that money's almost gone. So I agreed with him with that regard, but he got upset because all three of them were like, yeah, you really wouldn't. So he was just like, it's whatever. Y'all figure it out. I'm going away because y'all being disrespectful. So then we see Candy and Todd sitting down at the it's like the next day, and they're at Candy's office, and it was a cute scene. I know people don't be seeing it for Todd, but I really like this scene of where Todd was encouraging Candy to still do another Broadway play, because we find out that she was asked to be a producer for another play, and the white guy, I think his name was Nick, the one that we saw on the on FaceTime or on Zoom with her, he was like, I don't know if you should do it, mainly because the play might get shut down again because of Omarion. And Todd was just kind of like, well, that could happen anytime, but maybe this will show those people in this new industry that you're trying to break into that you are committed to being a part of this industry and you want to put out good work. And it actually, like, he encouraged Candy, and I thought that was sweet. I did. I know people don't be seeing it for him, but like in that moment when they sat down in each other's, like when she sat on his lap and she hugged him and she was just like, thank you for encouraging, like she was just happy. And I was like, I like that. I like when, especially when you see Black women getting encouraged by their significant others, whether that be like a male or a female. Like I always think that's just sweet to see couples, like honestly any couples, but specifically Black women, but couples where you have somebody that makes you feel good about yourself, that sees the value in you, or sees that you are this extraordinary star, and they just want you to keep going because they know you can accomplish amazing things. So I just thought it was sweet. He also said, like, you need to be very specific in your trust, like very specific in your trust, because I, like, to the point where I don't even got to ask questions. What they want, they get, because you know me, they not gonna get no money like that. So I mean, at least he know. So we then see Sheree looking at fabrics for She by Sheree. Sheree want to make like a visible dick print in the pants. Why are we doing false advertisement? Why? No. That is designated for the people who got it. If you ain't got it, you don't need a fake one, because that's false advertisement. And when it's time to do things, and you do I see it and it's not what I saw. That's how people get in trouble. So that was stupid. I think it's nice that she finally getting things on the road. Sheree is stupid to me. I'm sorry, y'all. She is so stupid to me, because it's just like, why haven't you done anything with She by Sheree? Like, why? Excuse me. I never thought She by Sheree should have been a fashion line. Like, I remember where she had that show, the fashion show with No Fashions. I feel like that was a precursor for Sheree to know, like, maybe this is not what we need to do. Like, definitely She by Sheree should have been like, at like fitness. Like, she should have made it a fitness brand. Like, She by Sheree, like the yoga mats, water bottles, fitness videos. What's it called? She could have made like an online community, something like that. Like, girl, you should be doing She by Sheree, doing workout stuff on the Peloton bike, or like, what's that thing now where you can like do the workout with the huge like screen? Y'all know what I mean. It gets advertised all the time, and it's like you can do like the arm stuff with it, and it's like a video. It look like a mirror or whatever, but it's like a virtual thing. I'm just kind of like, Sheree, stupid. And them ladies was laughing at you, not with you, because they was looking at you like, girl, what? We then see Marlo go to therapy. It was a scene. I don't, and I really can't talk because I've done therapy several times, and I've had like two therapists, like when I was in high school and when I was in like in undergrad, and I'm in grad school now. And I just remember, like, your first time like sitting down with them, you do just start crying. At least for me, you just be like, it's just so much going on. You do that all the time. So I couldn't really like knock her tears, but I just feel like, Marlo, ma'am, I get it. You didn't, and y'all know I've been giving Marlo a lot of grace, but I get it. You did not want to, like, you don't want to re-traumatize the kids, even though you did. Even though you did. Um, it's just that, like, if you were going to take these kids on, you have to be selfless. That's really what it is. It's kind of messed up to say, but like, your feelings don't matter anymore once you chose to be like, yes, I will be your Muntie or I'll be your guardian. Like, yes, your feelings matter, but not like they're kind of here where like your nephews are like here. So even if you needed a break, you could have took like a week vacation, got it together and came back. This whole like a month thing was stupid to me. It was stupid. Like a month with your kids being away, unless you were going to send them to like camp, this is a bit much. And I get it, you're overwhelmed and you don't want to make mistakes, but you should have thought of that before you got with them. And I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. So let's move on to Sheree's party. All right. So we're at Sonya's house. She decided she was going to host Sheree's party. And it was giving very much like Drew said. I got to give Drew a point. And y'all know I don't like Drew. It was Party City. It was city trends. It was dots. It was low key. I was about to say rainbow, but rainbow got a little bit of class compared to dots. It just was not hitting on nothing, girl. It really wasn't. Like, I was like, Sonya, especially for this to be like your first introduction of you like hosting an event. You definitely could have gave, like, this definitely should have been that. It should have been that. Like, she did the 360 camera, which I always think is so cool, especially if you can time like your pose correctly. It always comes out amazing. But they didn't have that ready before the party started. The food did look dry because Kenyon was like, girl, where the seasoning? And I think like the yellow things, were those beef patties? Because like the Jamaican spots I go to, yes, the beef patties be like brown, like yellow, but they be a brownish yellow. Like there's a lot more like melanin in that. Like I was like, girl, that do look nasty and unseasoned. And then it's just like the decorations weren't hitting on anything. And she just wasn't prepared. She was not prepared. Like, she wanted to play music when Sheree got in there, but like they couldn't get the music together. And I'm just like, girl, all of this, these people should have came and set up like 2 or 3 hours before the party started. Especially when you're dealing with technology, I always like think about it like, okay, if we're gonna use like a screen projector or we're trying to do a photo booth, especially when my parents host parties or like my cousins do it, they always set that up. That's like the first thing to set up because like Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. So it's like you want to make sure this part, which is like sometimes like the focal point, is nice. And I'm just like, Sheree, not Sheree, Sonya, like for real, Sonya, for real. So everybody gets there. We see Sonya and Drew have like a sidebar conversation. And she like, girl, where's your present? And Drew's like, my presence is her present. Because, she brought her little dog there. And like, the dog comment is kind of getting old. Like, even Monyetta was like, stop calling that lady a dog. Because I'm like, yeah, like, it's not cute. And you didn't like being called a stray last season, Drew. So constantly calling the lady a lap dog or a dog is disrespectful. And y'all know how I said I wanted Fatum to be like a permanent friend in the show? Well, y'all, Fatum got banned from set because she took it too far, allegedly. So I was watching Scotty by Nature's video and he read this article or he read something because I was like in and out because I was just listening to the video while I was like doing something. But it seems like Fatum decided to like go through Drew's purse after Drew threw like the dog bone and the dog treats on the floor. And then Drew decided, being herself, being that sneaky chick, went up to the higher ups and told them that she didn't feel comfortable with her being there after the lady went through her purse. And so they banned her from set, allegedly. So Fatum went too far, and now she not a part of the show. I said, girl, you ain't play your cards right. This is not Love and Hip Hop. This is Bravo. This is not VH1. That would have slid on VH1, but not on Bravo, sis. They be trying to act like they classy and keeping up this illusion of class. Like, sis, you should have did that over there. So Fatum shot herself in the foot, basically. So Drew's still upset about the whole Fatum situation. We then see like Marlo. Marlo is delusional when it comes to Kenya. And like I told y'all, because Kenya even said, like, I can ignore Marlo because my Marlo's irrelevant. Because Marlo came in. No, Kenya came in and Marlo was already there. And she even said hi to Marlo. And like I told y'all in my last review, Kenya has put Marlo like on this shelf, like in this box that like she only takes down to play with for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And then she packs her back up and puts her back on the shelf. And it's like Marlo can't handle that, because I think Marlo, like Heavenly, and we're gonna talk about that in Married to Medicine, they don't understand how to be friends, because you can't constantly go all the way to the pits of hell with somebody. And y'all know I'm okay with people going to the pits of hell with each other when it's like mutual. When it's like when someone does you wrong and you take it there, that's different. But what Kenya has been doing, or the banter that Kenya and Marlo has had, it never like it doesn't need to go as far as Marlo goes. And that's why people can't like palate or stomach Marlo anymore, because Marlo is going so far to the point where it's like, sis, it's not needed. It's not needed. And Marlo even says she doesn't know how to do light shade. She just goes for the jugular. It probably is like a Miami thing or a Florida thing, because Heavenly does it. Marlo does it. Like if you go on, like when we watch Love and Hip Hop Miami, they be sometimes going that far. And even Funky Dineva, because he's from Miami, he even says like people go that far with you. They like, that's just what they roast and gag you, and you either are going to come back at it, you gonna fight, or you just gonna take it and move on. And at this point, Kenya is just tired and she don't want to deal with it, and Marlo can't handle it, and it just makes Marlo look delusional, especially in her confessionals when she's like, I'm not gonna let Kenya get to me. And I'm like, Kenya's not really doing nothing. You are the one that's bothered at this point. So Sonya wants to show Kenya around the house, because Kenya talked about like being interested in like interior design. Kenya was one of the ladies that was really interested in it. And so they end up talking as they're like by each other, talking about the whole phone hanging up thing. And Sonya's like, girl, why did you hang up on me? Like, girl, don't be hanging up on me. And in this moment, I can respect both Sonya and Kenya's point. Kenya's like, I'm trying to get back to the Kenya where I didn't take no mess from nobody. Like with my husband and being in that toxic relationship, I have allowed people to do things, walk all over me, and to really hurt my feelings. And I'm setting boundaries now. And you was working on my nerves. You was tap dancing on my nerves. And Sonya's whole thing was like, I really wasn't trying to come at you that way. Like, I really wasn't trying to come at you that way. Like legit, I was just trying to tell you, like, you can bring a +1. It didn't have to be a man. It could have been a friend. I really wasn't trying to come at your neck like that. And they both laugh about it. She apologized. Like, I think Sonya apologizes. I don't know if Kenya did, but they hugged because Sonya was like, girl, you know, you love me. You like me. And they had a moment. So then Sheree shows up. Everything was going all cool. And then all of a sudden they're like eating food. Drew cops an attitude. I don't know where she got that attitude, but Drew started saying how she felt like some people were like being fake and playing in her face. And Sheree was like, what do you mean? And she's directing it towards Sheree, but it's about Fatum. And I was kind of with Sheree in this moment. Like, girl, Fatum is not here. And like, Drew's like, I now see you, Sheree. But my thing with Drew is like, you did the same thing, if not worse than what Fatum did. Like, you spreaded that information around to everybody from your assistant, Anthony, telling everyone that Sheree don't pay people, and that Anthony was saying Sheree don't pay her. But now when someone comes back at you, and the block got real hot with Fatum, because Fatum was like, yo, ain't that the same man that said her husband was gay? Now you angry? And then when Sheree shows the proof, you still like can't accept the fact that like you were wrong. And I'm not saying Fatum was right, but it's like two things are mutually like you two things, y'all did the same thing. And you're mad at the person. You're mad at Sheree because Sheree brought Fatum around, but didn't you bring Anthony around? So at the end of the day, you just got shot, like you got hit first. Like, well, no, you shot first, and then she shot back, and you got wounded a lot more worse than what Sheree did. So then, like Drew was talking about how like she thinks she made like an ageist comment saying that you getting a little old and maybe you just don't remember. And then Sheree is like, girl, you better hope you look like me at this age. Marla gonna say Sheree look good to be 60, and the producers was like, she's 52. I said, girl. But Sheree do look good. Sheree does look good. And I'm kind of like, yeah, Drew, you better hope at 52 you look like that. As well as I'm like, Drew, girl, both of them are corny. Because then Sheree's like, tomato, tomato, tomato. Drew's like, what does that mean? I'm like, Drew, you know what it means, girl. You're a millennial, I think, or a geriatric millennial. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Drew be getting on my nerves. Because in this moment, both her and Sheree were working my nerves. But I'm like, Drew, you can't start things with people and then get mad when they come back at you. They then go to like cut Sheree's cake. They asked Drew to sing. Drew was acting like she didn't want to sing. But then she started singing and she sounded actually really good. When she was like, we love, like, you know, doing the whole love thing, she did a good job. So I was like, why are you trying to play like you can't sing? You sound decent, lady. So then they sit down and Sonya goes for the rules of the trip. And we find out you can't smoke weed in Jamaica because I thought weed was legal. I thought the ganja was legal in Jamaica, but I guess it's not. She said you will go to jail. And then they also talk about not bringing props. And this is why I can't get with Drew. But like I've been saying, Drew is playing a character and she's reading off of a script. Because she was like, because when Sonya did her rules, because she was showing like she had like 6 rules for the ladies. Drew was like, I'm an actress. I use props to express my emotions. And I'm like, that's not how you're supposed to be in a friend group on reality TV. This is not supposed to be you acting. You're supposed to be trying to cultivate some semblance of relationships with these ladies with the real you. So I was just like, I can't take Drew. I can't. And that's where it ended. So they going to Jamaica next episode. Marlo and Candy gonna fight. Kenya gonna bring some cute little boy. And that's where we ended, you know? It was a decent episode. So yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in the comments below. Deuces.